We're here in Santa Barbara. It is fall, but the waves are flat. It pretty much looks like it's gonna be flat for the next 10 days. Parker's going on a trip, then I'm gonna head to Hawaii. But we wanted to share a little bit about what we've been riding for the last couple months, kind of through the summer for Parker and for me on the tour in Europe and the wave pool. I just got back from Europe a couple days ago and unpacking my boards that I brought with me there for a month. Kind of some other things I've just been riding a lot around home and in the summertime. Some new stuff that we're working on with Channel Islands. And just gonna get a little insight into what we got going on. So these are pretty much the 3 boards I've been riding the most in the last month and a half on the road in Europe, and also back here in Santa Barbara when it's been small or at the wave pool contest. So yeah, the first one is a 5.9.5, and it is 18 5/8, 2 5/16. It's an epoxy FR2. We've kind of been making some various tweaks to it, trying to get it dialed in to release it sometime next year, probably around the springtime. And yeah, this board's great. I rode at the wave pool contest and rode around home a lot, US Open, and yeah, super fun. Like the epoxy for the small, softer waves, a little more flotation, a little more curve through the back, and on this one, a little double concave and a little swallowtail. So yeah, super good all around board. Board number 2, this one is a 5.10.5, super similar to that epoxy one, and it's a Varial Foam FR2, kind of similar swallowtail, same width and thickness, 18 5/8, 2 5/16. And this was pretty much my go-to board in Europe. I rode it in the Portugal contest, in all my heats, and then I rode it in France a lot free surfing. And yeah, it's just a great all-around board. I love the Varial Foam, kind of just something new that I've been working on with those guys. And it's got a neat flex and loads up and kind of projects really cool, and it's pretty indestructible. I pulled into probably like 100 closeouts on this thing in Europe and it didn't break, so that's good. I really like it, and it's been fun playing around with this. This board's really good, so kind of saving this thing already probably for next year and maybe a small day at Backdoor. We'll see. Board number 3, this is pretty much a 5.11, basically FR2. This one's a little bit different than the tail rocker, but super similar to those 2 smaller boards right there, the 5.9.5, 5.10.5, and rode this one in France in the contest, and kind of basically go from that to step up to this when the waves get real solid, and this thing felt really good, and just good all-around shortboard when there's some decent waves, and super solid, good in the tube, good for turns, and yeah, pretty much something like what we're going to be releasing next year. So excited about this, and excited to have some good boards for the next couple months. So we got a lot of questions about the fins that Parker and I use, and these are not plastic. Everyone thinks we use plastic stock fins. They're not plastic. They're fiberglass. They're future fins, and they are a template that we've been working on with them. They're kind of between an AM medium fin and an AM large. I was wanting something a little bit bigger, and then the center fin also is really close to the side fins, whereas the normal Almeric templates are a lot smaller here than the side fins. So yeah, that's what we got going. And they're all just fiberglass. Usually my center fin's white, but this was a prototype set that Futures made us, and that's about it. Hopefully it's coming out soon.
These are my 3 boards that I rode through the majority of this summer, and I'm gonna break them down for you. This is kind of the ultimate summer board for me. It's been a work in progress, but this was the Generation 1 what's going to be coming out as a fish beard. There's definitely going to be more new improvements to the board before it kind of gets released, but I kind of just got this to be able to go really fast at home. And I ended up just using it as a keel fin setup, but it's pretty crazy when you ride small waves with it, just how much water kind of rushes through these big old fins, and kind of gives you a new feeling of like glide and speed that thrusters just don't really have. So I've been pumped on it. It's actually an insane airboard randomly. So it's kind of just like a cool combo of cruisy, fast, glidey feel with still kind of the ability to pop and hit sections. But yeah, so this is going to be coming out in probably the next year, I think. But it's been definitely a favorite of mine in the summer months. Going fast is cool. And this is my normal shortboard dimensions for summertime, kind of just like average waves. It's 5'9", 18 and 11/16, 2 and 5/16. Kind of like a modified FR2, like what Connor's been working on for the last year, but just one that's maybe like shrunken down and made a little bit wider and more forgiving for the softer days. And this one's varial also. Connor kind of inspired me. Conner and Flynn Novak really inspired me to get on the varials, and it's definitely an insane feel just because you don't have a stringer, you don't have anything breaking the flex, so you end up getting a lot of contortional flex and kind of different flex pattern than you would out of a traditional EPS or poly board. And it's insane. I mean, as you could tell from the gross wax job, I've had this board for a long time, and I've probably ridden it more than any other board in my quiver in the last 6 to 8 months. And besides a couple little pressure dents, it's still going strong and it works insane. I've kind of ridden it everything from like knee-high waves all the way to big barreling waves, and yeah, I'm psyched on it. It's kind of been my favorite board probably throughout the year. I've definitely ridden it more than any other board, and just something new and different that kind of keeps the vibe alive. Anything to kind of keep it feel new and fresh, I like. So it's been really cool, and it's always been fun. You know, Connor's been experimenting with them too, and kind of just having someone to talk surfboard with is always cool. So I've been super pumped on it. Works and everything, and that's my new grip. So make sure you go get one of them too. This is pretty much that same exact thing, but not varial. This is just kind of a poly same setup as that one, but pretty much just normal like shortboard dimensions for me. And for summertime, I feel like for us, we're not really up here in Santa Barbara. We're not really surfing waves over like the chest high region a whole lot. So this one's not nearly gotten as much action as those two, but when there has been swell, this is kind of what I've been riding. I had a couple fun sessions down south at lowers on it, and kind of just my California go-to board, and kind of had to make like a little bit of a rounder rail than I normally would get, just for kind of a little bit more forgiving kind of like entry point when you go do your turn. It's just a little bit rounder and softer, so it doesn't seem to catch as much. And in summertime for south swells here, I feel like most of the time it's just soft. Everything just feels a little soft, so having a board that's a little bit wider up front, a little bit wider in the tail, a little bit more volume everywhere, and a little bit rounder just kind of seems to make it all feel a little bit easier. But yeah, that's pretty much been my quiver. Got small wave board, fun alternative flex that kind of can go in anything, and then my good shortboard. So I've been pretty psyched between these three for the last couple months. Good stuff. Thanks, Channel Islands. Well, that's pretty much our quiver that we've been riding for the last few months through the end of summer and into fall. And next up, it's Hawaii. Bigger boards, bigger waves.
Nice. See you there.
Or not. Later.